What's up, blind viewers? How's everybody doing? I have a treat for you today. She's Canadian. She's doing an ambulance build, and she's quite easy on the eyes. It is the delightful Vida Travels. Thanks for coming, girl. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
No problem. Thanks for coming over and, you know, subjecting yourself to this madness.
I definitely, I'm putting a lot of trust in you right now.
Oh boy. All right. So, Canadian, what part of Canada, and for us stupid Americans who barely know our own country, kind of an idea,
Of
center,
where?
east, west, wherever,
Okay.
where you at?
I'm in the prairies in the middle of Canada. I actually live in southeast Saskatchewan. So if I take the border directly south, I hit North Dakota, Saskatchewan. We also can take cross the borders into Montana as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we know where you're at. See,
Mhm.
if you say states, yeah, because we're arrogant that way. We don't care about anybody else.
Well, no, it's, when I hear a lot about some of the states in the US, I don't know where a lot of them are. I know where the ones are that are closer to Canada or like
Yeah.
Florida or California, the really obvious ones.
Right.
But I mean, we just hadn't learned that kind of stuff.
Have you ever been to the States?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have. My first trip was actually to Hawaii. That was the first time I ever got a passport.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. But it was really commercialized.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, as wonderful as it was, that's not really the way I want to travel.
Right. Right.
But like when my mom turned 60, we road trip down to Vegas, Hoover Dam, road
Oh,
trip
nice.
back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did watch those videos. I
Yeah.
did.
My son and I have gone down to Greeley, Colorado to visit some friends that I actually met on a trip to Costa Rica.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I never started traveling until I was 38.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you are building. Where are you at in your process of building out your ambulance?
Well, in the summer, my ambulance functions. I put a bed in, I have a little couch, I have a spot for my table, I have a counter with a little propane stove inserted. I put in my sink and my plumbing's really system. It's a self-priming foot pump
Okay.
because I wanted to use as little power as possible for if I go off grid, because that's my key interest is going off grid.
Right.
Um, and I did my own solar system. I have 300 watts of solar panels on the roof, and I only have 180 amp or 160 amp hours of battery. So the battery's where my system is
Yeah.
lagging.
Well, you can always add later if
Yeah.
need
Oh,
be.
definitely can build on it for sure. But that stuff gets pretty expensive. And I've been a single mom all these years. So I'm definitely doing things on a budget. That's what you're going to learn on my channel.
Well, that's the thing I've learned that you can do it. It's not that expensive. And then you start looking at
Oh,
the cost of this and that and this and that, and like, okay, even if you just spend say $5,000 on a van or something, and then you start throwing all this crap in, and next thing you know, you got 20, 30 grand wrapped up into a van that you spent $5,000 on.
yeah. That's something I'm being very careful about. Everything I have or can do with recycling, upcycling, I buy everything at a discount, right?
Yeah, nice.
Used furniture stores and stuff. Even my counters, I know that I'm limited on what I have for tools and abilities. So my way to save money that way was I will go onto like Facebook Marketplace or garage sales and I'll find a little, counter unit that's cheap that I just have to paint and stuff and I can modify and install it.
There
And
you
I
go.
save so much money that way.
Nothing wrong with being frugal.
Mhm.
So, is this is this just like a seasonal thing, a part-time thing, a whatever thing, possibly full-time thing, or what's your plan on your traveling and
Well,
your
it started as my empty nesting project. Honest to goodness, like, because I'm a single parent. When my son was getting ready to go off to university, I really, really struggled with that a lot. Um, so I'd come across all the stuff on van life, and I do love traveling. I usually travel in tent.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, van life, oh my God, that is so much more convenient and it's really cool and it opens up my options.
Right.
So like right now, I'm just part-timing. I eventually would love to full-time,
Okay.
but I just have to be open to what opportunities present themselves and when it's meant to be. So
Right.
in the meantime, I'm getting everything ready.
It's funny, the empty nest thing. It seems like
Mm.
moms go nuts with that, and dads are usually like, "Phew, cool, get out. I did my job. Yeah, now go."
You know, his whole grade 12 year was harder on me than his first year away.
That's
Right?
funny.
Because I thought of only the worst parts of it and not about the parts that were actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess the next question is, out of all the things, vans, schoolies, everything else, why an ambulance?
Well, I didn't initially plan on an ambulance. I hadn't even seen them as conversions. I hadn't thought of it. My brother, oh, my brother's like my best buddy. He and I and his girlfriend went up to look at a van in another community, and it ended up not being what I wanted. And so we were on our way to Saskatoon, and he's like, well, look up stuff in Saskatoon. Maybe we can see something while we're there. And so while I was searching, I came across an ambulance and I just started giggling like a maniac in the back seat. I'm like, let's just go and check out an ambulance. I walked in there and my brother and I looked at each other and we didn't even have to say anything. We just knew that that was for me, right? Because so much is already built in it. It has its lighting. It's a safer vehicle. And I did know that I wanted something that I could go from bed to driving without exiting it.
Right.
So I was like, this is perfect.
Now, I used to be a firefighter when I could see. So
Mhm.
I'm quite familiar with ambulances. And I have to say that, I mean, they're built for, there's usually a driver, a medic in the back, usually have a passenger, plus the Stokes baskets and the backboards and the gurney and all the equipment and everything. So those things are really built to hold a lot more weight than your typical van
Yeah.
or anything like that. And again, compartments everywhere, outside, inside. I mean, they're everywhere. It is a good,
It's
it's a good starting point.
it's beautiful. I do not regret getting it. The only thing I would change, honestly, BlindViews, is I didn't know anything about diesel engines
Uh,
when I bought it. So I didn't know the difference between a 6 liter and a 7.3.
okay.
I got the 6 liter.
Eh, hey, it's a diesel. They last forever, unlike gasoline engines. But yeah, diesel, man.
Yeah.
The only drawback, well, for me, I'm 6'1", so I can't stand
Mm.
up in an ambulance. But they're not they're not too bad though. I mean, it's better than hunching over in a van.
Well, I'm 5'8", which is a decent height for a female, and I can stand in there straight. Not with any heel on my shoe, but like if I'm barefoot and I stand straight,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, that's
So it's
perfect then.
perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you mentioned your brother. You have a brother. Any more siblings?
Yes. I'm the oldest of four. I have a sister. Okay, so I'm 45. The next youngest would have been 40. She'd have just turned 44. She passed away when she was 24.
Oh,
Oh no, so she wouldn't have been 44. She'd been 43. But yeah, she passed away when she was 24. Actually, the same year I had my son, so they never got to meet.
oh wow.
And then there was a 12-year gap. So kind of like two sets of kids, same mom and dad.
Mhm.
So my other sister, she is 31 and my brother is 30. So I was in grade 8 and grade 10 when the youngest two were born.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does your family think of your idea of running around the continent in a ambulance and doing your thing? Do they think you're nuts? Do they are they, hey, go for it or what?
You know what? My family is the biggest supporters. I am actually so impressed with how wonderful they've been. Like my brother, he's the whole reason I even started a YouTube channel, right? He teases me about my crappy memory. And he was like, document it. Keep keep track of it so you can look back and see the progress that you've made and the journey and stuff, right? And my sister thinks it's cool. In fact, if she would ever come home to visit for a bit, she's an iron worker, so I could get her doing all sorts of stuff in there. And my mom is awesome. I've done a couple trips with my mom, and even like the time when, you know, I ended up stranded on the side of the road. Oh my God, one weekend, a hose blew. And then on the way home, I just about lost a solar panel, and I was having a fit on the side of the highway because I didn't put a ladder up to the roof yet.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, that's it. I'm selling it. That's it. I'm done. And my mom's like, no, 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 no. This happens. Just relax. This is your dream. You can't give up on your dream. So not only are they supportive, they're encouraging me.
Well, that is awesome. That's, I mean, but your brother's advice was spot on though. I know quite a few people that, you know, one lady in particular comes to mind. She's like, I just started a channel so everybody would know where I am and see that I'm safe. And, you know, while she ran around, she had a van at the time, and she was running around the country and, you know, camping and full timing. And so she's like, I just did it so everybody could log on and see I was still alive and where I was and what I was up to. And now she has, you know, 50 some thousand subscribers, and she's posting all the time. So yeah, it's a great way to start, and it's a good idea. So kudos to your bro for nudging you.
Yeah, he is the whole reason I've done it. Even when I went to buy the ambulance, I was like, well, what should I offer? Because I will never pay what somebody asks. But so we were figuring out what would be, you know, even reasonable. And he even suggested a little bit lower than I thought. He's like, just trust me. I'm like, okay. So I got it literally for a couple grand less than what the guy was asking.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you why you started your channel, and I guess we kind of figured that out already. So,
well, you know, since COVID though, I've actually decided, like, I realized I can do this. I can actually grow this channel. And so I'm not kidding, in 2.5 months, the growth has been incredible, and I'm having so much fun with it. It's making COVID so much easier. I don't feel isolated at all.
So let everybody that may not have stopped over yet, may not know what your channel is. What's your channel about, and what do you do?
It's me screwing everything up. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's an encouraging plug. Everybody go off and screw up.
They'll be coming in droves. So my channel is about the process of my build, you know, the things that I'm putting in it, how I'm doing it. And, you know, I think it shows a lot of people that you think you can't do something, you just have an undeveloped skill. You just need to learn, develop it, and you can do anything. If I can go in there and learn how to use an angle grinder when I didn't even know what one was before, then they can too. My whole solar system, it took me a lot of time to make it click in my head. And then once I got it, I'm like, this is easy.
Yeah.
I can totally do this. And I saved myself so much money, you know. But then you'll see things like when I drained my battery in my ambulance and how, you know, I didn't call for help. I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to see if I was boondocking and this happened, can I get myself out of this situation? Right. And so I did figure it out. So you're going to see stuff like that. Plus I do a lot of live streams, Mondays and Wednesdays. It's 9 Eastern time. I interview usually nomadic YouTube creators or anyone that's connected in that realm, right? So it's kind of like, who do I want to learn from? Who do I look to? Who's going to help me in my build, in my journey, in my YouTube experience? And those are the people that I ask to come on.
Well, that leads me into next question I had was, well, how new are you to this world, I guess, the nomadic world or the build? When did you start?
I bought the ambulance actually like 1.5 years ago, but it was in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
Right. It was the beginning of February when I bought it. So I couldn't really get a whole lot done because I'm Canadian and it gets really cold here. So one of the first things I did was started some insulating. It is insulated, but not enough for where I live. So I've been putting some more insulation and stuff in there. But so I started a channel. I made a couple of videos. They were, maybe not something I'm the most proud of because I'm learning, but I looked up a lot of information and they say just start where you're at. That's all you can do. And then this summer is when I really started to do the live streams, and that just turned everything around for my channel. And then it motivated and inspired me, and I just hit my 1,000 subs, and
That's awesome.
It's so exciting.
Well, we all start somewhere, that's for sure. And it's just like anything else. You just gotta do it with what you got, and you go for it. And as time goes on, you learn a lot of things, and you progress, and you get more toys to play with and stuff. And the next thing you know, you're actually doing. I watched a lot. I went back through your catalog in preparation for this, and I've watched your stuff. It's not that bad. You got some music beds in there, and you got some little things. I mean, it's not just point and shoot and stuff. It was actually, some of them were pretty well done. I'll give you props.
I actually just upgraded my phone, so I can really do a lot of better videos with that. Plus I bought a gimbal. So, I get to play around with those. I got a different thing for editing software, which is really going to help me out.
Nice.
So I need to make some more content so that I can show how much I've improved.
Okay. So I was going to ask, since you're doing all these, interviews and stuff, do you find that the community, is there to help and will give you advice or swing by and help you wrench on something or anything?
Everybody is so supportive in the van life nomadic community, right? It's kind of like everybody I interview becomes a new friend. It's awesome. I have Badge. Everybody needs one. He has really stepped up to help me a lot and support me as another Canadian as well. And he's kind of like the dad I don't have. I'm not kidding. In fact, I'm so excited to get my new diesel heater in the mail. And I'm going up to Alberta to see Badge, and he's going to teach me how to put it in. We're going to put my roof vent in because I don't know how to cut into the roof. Like, I'd have to buy the equipment. Plus, I can't cut a straight line. I can't. I do know my limitations, and I don't want to screw up the roof.
Well, yeah, that's a big step to be cutting holes in your stuff in your house.
Yeah. Another way that the community's been really good, I also do a Saturday night live, and they are long, but there are different YouTube creators popping into my live stream, and we talk about everything and anything. Like last night, I had Russ with RV or TV pop onto my live.
Nice.
He's a big channel. He has tons of experience. I was just mesmerized with everything that he had to say and shocked that he was on my channel. Like, it was so cool.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned Badge, and Badge is definitely the one. He's the go-to guy. I mean, he spends a lot of time down here when he's not stuck at home because the borders are closed.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the guy, everyone loves him, and it is true. Everyone needs one because he is a wealth of knowledge, and he will help anyone out in a heartbeat. So it's really cool that you get to go.
I know. And like, he's like, make a list, and he keeps adding things to the list. I don't even have to ask him. I don't even have to ask. He's just so amazing.
Yeah, he's a great dude. So where do you want your channel to go? Do you have anything in mind, or is it just have at it and it goes where it goes, or do you have a goal in mind? Or
I want it to become a big travel channel, whether it's in the ambulance, traveling to somewhere tropical. I want a combination of all those things. I want people to see that, a solo female can do these things, but I want it to be real. That's why I want to capture my experiences learning as we're going. Right. I don't have someone else to help me with everything. I don't have the fanciest equipment. I'm still totally learning. So I just feel like maybe it would help motivate some other people too, to see what the challenges are and not, so that they're prepared to do it too.
Right. Do you find I guess the YouTube experience is so far, has it been a good one? Has it been welcoming? Is it?
It's been really good. I've only had one comment on one video that was even possibly negative, right? Everybody's just been so nice. And I know as a channel grows, that's going to change,
Yes.
right? That was my son's worry for me. He was worried that, as a person gets more into the YouTube world, you're going to come across people that aren't very kind.
Yes.
And he was worried if I could handle that. And you know what? Through this whole process, I'm really getting to see how strong I really am.
Well, yeah, it is unfortunate, but yeah, once you start getting up to a certain level and other people start seeing you, then yeah, unfortunately they do come, because there are people that have zero life. They have nothing to do, and all they do is run around social media destroying people.
Yeah.
So you do have
You
to
know
be
what? And
prepared
I
for
feel
that.
sorry for those people, because it means that there is something missing in their life.
Yeah, it is. It is true, but unfortunately, it's one of those things you're gonna have to learn to deal with. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not take it personal, right?
No, you can't. You can't really, because, like I said, that's what some people. That's what their job is. They feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's happy. We can't have that.
Yeah. I think one of my big dilemmas though is like, I worked really hard to get the job that I have. Like I went back to university when my son was a baby so that I could have a better future for him.
Right.
And I mean, I did work my way up to a really good job. My early retirement's in only 10 years, right?
Wow.
So I have to find a little bit of a balance for now, because unless something absolutely amazing happens, I don't know if I want to screw up that pension.
Right. All right. Now, I guess this kind of goes hand in hand with having a job and a home and everything. Is the plan to keep everything and travel and then eventually go, or just do it?
Um, I'm in the process of downsizing. I'm taking this step by step, honest to goodness, because it is hard when you spend your whole life trying so hard to accumulate stuff to feel like you were somebody. Because
Yeah.
that's how I grew up thinking, oh, all these people have stuff. They've really gotten somewhere in the world. And now I'm looking back and going, that doesn't mean anything. Nothing at all. I would like to keep downsizing. And if I even stay in the ambulance year round, right? I still want to keep enough for a small 1-bedroom apartment and storage.
Okay.
That's my plan. Like right now I have a 5-bedroom house.
Right.
I honestly, I never did need this much anyways. So I don't need all of this. And the thing about having a house, as much as I'm proud that I did it on my own, I am tied to it.
Yeah.
Right? If I want to go somewhere for a month and the pipes freeze and the furnace quits,
Yeah.
and no one was here to take care of it, my insurance isn't going to cover it.
Right.
So as nice as it is to have an asset, I feel like it's holding me back.
Now, do you have, well, I guess it's kind of obvious, but plans like, say, have the ambulance for 5 years and then maybe get an RV or a bus or something else, or
Mm-hmm.
you have any plans like that?
I'm definitely open to that. I really am. I don't know what the future holds, and I'm realizing I can't predict it, but I'm doing everything. How do I explain this? For the last years, felt like something wonderful is going to come into my life. I feel like I don't know what it is, but something really good is going to happen. So I'm just getting my ducks in a row. So I'm ready for whatever it is.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Not living in fear anymore, but pushing past it and just saying yes to things and experiences.
Well, I found that a lot of the folks that I followed, and I'll use Chrome, Van City Van Life, as an example. He had the big condo and everything. He left and bought a van, moved into a van, basically threw some 2x4s in there and put a bed on it, and
Mm-hmm.
threw some shit in storage containers and slid underneath the bed. And that's how he started. And, and in the beginning, his videos were all, oh, I don't need this. I don't need that. It's just this and that. And now here we go. Fast forward to 3 years later, and he's got solar and batteries and heaters, and he just redid the whole thing a couple times. So and he's not the only one, but there's other people that, it's like, well, yeah, I can do this van thing and it's cool and everything. And then after a year or so of climbing around your hands and knees, you go, okay, I really need a shower and a place to cook. So let me step up to, even if it's a little trailer to pull behind the van, and then maybe let me get so I do see people that, they start out, we're like, this is cool, this is fun, and I don't need to do all this. And after a year or two, they're like, yeah, I don't need to, but I can now. So, and I have some money in my pocket. So let me go ahead and, have a place where I can actually stand up, and a place where I can cook and take a shower and, not have to dump a bucket.
Well, the thing is too, you buy it and yeah, you can go without a lot of things. That's great. But like Vida, my ambulance, that's my baby and I am proud of her. So I'm excited when I can add something new.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that I have to have everything, but it's just one more thing that I did to make her mine.
Right. That's cool though. I mean, I totally can understand everyone's progression. I mean, people do it with houses all the time. Like, hey, young couple, you get your first starter house, and it's a little thing, and you're sitting on cinder blocks and watching the TV propped up on something, and you go. So, I mean, it's a natural progression.
I am open to changes if that's what's meant to be at the time. Right now, I don't have a plan for that, but who knows?
Well, I mean,
I don't want to limit myself.
It's funny, like I was saying about Chrome. I mean, he did it his way was, well, let me get in this thing and just I can sleep. Okay, let me get, and then okay, what do I need? And he built the van as he went, and he found out what he needed and what he liked and all that. Whereas some people will go, okay, I got this van. By the end of the year, I want it built out, and they just start putting down floors and then this, and they buy cabinets and they build it all out, and then they get in and go. So there is two theories, I guess you could say.
Well, you know what though, when you're doing it on a budget, like I don't know until I'm in it everything that I want or how I want it, and I keep changing it. I'm constantly changing it. So I'm really glad I didn't invest a lot of money. When I get the perfect layout that I have, been in there an extended period of time and I find what really works and I want to upgrade it a bit, then that's different. But right now, like my bed is on a kitchen table. I had an old kitchen table up in the garage. I cut the legs down to the height I needed. It fit in perfect. It works because I've changed my bed system 3 times and I'm not spending any more money until I know what I want. But nobody would have known that was underneath there if I hadn't said anything.
Exactly. Well, and the thing is you can have it parked out in front of your house forever and build stuff and do things and go, yeah, this is nice, this is comfortable, until you get out there for a couple months and go, okay, I really need to move this or change this or add this.
Yes.
I don't need this shit, so until you actually live in it and move around, and you're not going to really know.
Well, and sometimes how you use it changes. When I first started my build, I thought, okay, just for me. But then it's like, oh, well, my mom's gone on a road trip with me. My sister has, my son has. It's like, okay, reality is I am going to have people with me sometimes. So now I'm going to have to plan it a bit different.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, you said something earlier that reminded me. Vida Travels. What does that name mean? Where did you come up with it? Why?
Actually, I knew I wanted to call it Van Vida before I even knew what I was going to buy. Vida means life or to live in Spanish, French, Portuguese, like in so many languages, it's to live. And buying this ambulance and doing this process for me is really helping me live.
That's
Right?
awesome.
Bringing more in and enriching my life. So then the fact that it's an ambulance, that's a life-saving vehicle,
There you go.
was just even cooler yet. So Van Vida for van life. And then I added travels. So it's a little clearer about my channel. And that was based on recommendations from other channels that have been helping me with suggestions and supporting me as I grow.
Well, that is awesome. That's a cool name. So now we know where that came from. Well, is there anything that you would like all these fine folks to know about you or your channel that we haven't talked about or discussed?
I don't know. I really appreciate feedback from people. You know, questions or things they'd like to see me try. You know, this is my experience, but I want to share it with others too. So when I started watching YouTube videos, I watched the ones that had the down to a science, and it didn't seem very realistic. But then when I found the real life people that truly live this, it intrigued me so much. But it's so many other questions. So I want to be able to help other people find those answers with me as I'm finding them.
There you go. That's cool. That is very cool. Well, you seem to have some kind of, I don't know, magnetism about you or something, because I think your channel is going to take off, because I came over to watch the badge interview that you did. I had no idea who you were. And then I came back to watch the saucy one, and I watched a couple other ones. And when I got in contact with you to do this, I didn't really know you that well. And after we were done talking for a little bit, it felt like I reconnected with a long lost friend that I haven't seen in years. I mean, there's just some kind of charisma that you have. So I see people coming to your channel and being drawn to it and sticking around. So I'm going to wish you all the best. And I can't help you with building your ambulance or a van or anything else. But if you need any advice for YouTube stuff, I'm here anytime you need me.
I truly appreciate that so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me for a little bit and do this little interview. And so you guys, you heard her. Go on over there, help her out, watch her through her journey, check her out, go see. And she does. She interviews lots of really cool people. A lot of them I don't know, some I do. But yeah, it's very interesting, very informative. So you can learn a lot and you can have some fun as well. All right. Well, thanks again. And remember, Vida Travels. Check her out. And you know what we do here? She's awesome. Check her out. This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.